What's going on, YouTube? Gents here, and you're listening to the Not Entertained Weekly Not. These are my quick reactions to the entertainment news of the week. Links to the in-depth articles will be posted in the description below. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Twitter and Spotify. We have a bunch of movie news this week. First up, let's get into these Aladdin reviews. I already knew I wasn't going to watch this movie when it came out, and I'm still not. And it looks like people are really mixed on the reviews in the film. They say that Jafar's not that strong of a character. They say the CGI is really bad with Genie. And just overall, the movie's just not what the original was. And maybe they should have just left this one alone. That's kind of been my sentiment this whole time, but you guys can make up your own minds. Don't let me influence you. Feel free to check out the reviews or feel free to check out the movie yourself. And if you do, feel free to leave a comment in the description below. Let me know how it was. Next up, we got a new trailer for Terminator Dark Fate. Finally, James Cameron came back to direct this film. That's why everybody's getting excited. Majority of the original cast is coming back for the film. The new trailer looks pretty good. The new Terminators look even more advanced than I think they were called the T-2000s from Terminator 2. I'm hyped for this. I think it's going to be a good summer movie and hopefully it works out. Next up, we got the reviews for Brightburn. I was actually curious about this movie. They were pretty much taking the story of Superman and flipping it on its head. You know, Superman, alien child from space, lands on Earth and is raised by human parents and eventually becomes Earth Savior. So it's that same story, except instead of becoming Earth Savior, he uses his powers for evil, just goes on a rampage, and it's pretty much Superman's story mixed with The Omen. So I thought, it was pretty interesting and creative approach to changing that kind of narrative. And it looks like the reviews are really bad. It's unfortunate. I may still catch this at some point, but it looks at this point I'm probably not going to pay for it. I'll just wait for it to show up on HBO or on cable or something like that. I don't want to hate on them too much just because it was a good idea. So I'm big on premises and ideas for films, so I like when things are new instead of just reboots of everything else. So I'm going to give them credit for that, and that's why I'm going to check out the movie for myself, but it looks like I shouldn't get my hopes too high. Moving on, we got a new trailer for the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie. This is Quentin Tarantino's 9th film that he'll be directing. Everybody and their mother is in this movie. Margot Robbie, Leonardo DiCaprio, Al Pacino, Brad Pitt. The list goes on and on. I'm a big Tarantino fan, so I'm definitely going to be checking this movie out for sure. It looks, I don't know what else you can want from Tarantino. I don't know what else you can want just from casting star power. So feel free to check out the trailer. I'll let you know what I think of the movie when it comes out. Next on my list, I have the new trailer for Toy Story 4. I will have to be honest, I'm not the biggest Toy Story fan or Disney fan, but here we are talking about Disney again for the 3rd straight week in a row, I think this is. They finally gave us a little bit more about what the story is going to be about. It looks like this new character, Forky, is kind of central to the whole events of the movie. Yeah, I don't know, just Toy Story doesn't do it for me. Like, it's cool and I appreciate it, but after the first one, I don't think I saw any of the subsequent Toy Stories after them. I know a lot of people are big into Toy Story. Most of the Toy Story fans that I know felt that Toy Story 3 was like the perfect ending to the series, and they kind of were happy where it was. So now that they're bringing it back for a 4th one, they're really skeptical about where it's gonna pick up and how it's gonna have a better conclusion, or how it could possibly continue from where they left things off in Toy Story 3. It's yet to be said. People can change their minds once they finally see the movie. Everybody that enjoys Toy Story enjoys it regardless, but it'll be interesting nonetheless. Last on my list for movie news, we have Rocketman Reviews, which is the biopic about Elton John, played by Taron Egerton, and it looks like they're pretty good. It looks above average. It's that time of the month, couple weeks away from Pride Month, which is in June, obviously. I'll probably check it out at some point. I'm not the biggest fan of Elton John, but if the movie's good and does him a service, and if it's being received as well as it is right now, I think it's definitely worth checking out. Shockingly, I only have one update for gaming news. We finally got a announced date for the Dark Pictures Medan game that's going to be coming out. These are the people behind the Until Dawn game, Supermassive. They gave us some more glimpses of gameplay and just what's the game going to be about. Medan, I actually had to do some research on it on YouTube, and I found out it's like one of these creepy ship ghost stories out there, so it looks like they'll be doing a telling of that story with some teenagers or whatever that come upon the boat. It looks good. I'm probably gonna pick it up regardless. I'm just interested to see how they're going to package the game itself, because it says that they're calling it, the series they're calling it is Dark Pictures Anthologies, and this is just like one in the anthology. The Man of Medan is just one of the stories in the anthology. So I'm interested to see if they're just going to do like a DLC pass, or if they're gonna like each individual story is gonna have its own price tag, or I'm just curious to see what the pricing is gonna be. But nonetheless, I'll be picking it up. I'll let you guys know how it is. I may even stream this on Twitch or something. I'll figure that out later, and I'll keep you guys posted. Transitioning into music news, I didn't talk about it last week because I didn't know if it was good, so I didn't want to put it out there if I didn't like the album. But Tyler the Creator's latest album, Igor, just came out last week Friday, and it's great. Like, I think this might be the best album that he's done so far. I've always been a fan of Tyler and Future and everybody else in their crew that they work with. I think Tyler has some of the best production in the music industry. I really love how he mixes his samples. I just love everything about what he's doing right now, and this album is great. So if you've ever been curious about Tyler or never heard his music before, I would definitely recommend that you listen to this album. Can't give it enough compliments. Next up, just today, another one of my favorite all-time artists and producers, Flying Lotus. His newest album, Flamagra, just came out today, so I'll be checking that out. I already know that this album is going to be good just because it's Flying Lotus, so you'll be safe with that recommendation. I haven't listened to it myself yet, but probably on my next weekly Not update, I'll let you guys know what I really thought about it. Definitely, if you've never heard of Flying Lotus, he's done a bunch of different bumps and it's been sampled and featured. His music's featured and sampled everywhere. He's got a really interesting story if you want to read up more about him and his connections to some other jazz artists. Once again, his album Flamagra just came out today. The last little tidbit here in television news, guys, we got a new trailer for CBS All Access. They're releasing a Picard television series, and they're bringing back Jean-Luc himself, Mr. Patrick Stewart, to reprise his role. From the trailer, I mean, they really didn't give you much in the trailer, but you definitely got, if anybody's familiar, you definitely got feelings of Mass Effect. It really kind of instantly put me in that kind of zone. What can you say about Patrick Stewart? It hasn't already been said. He's great. He's from Family Guy to Star Trek to everything in between, Broadway. I mean, he's great. So I'm sure the show will be good. Whether or not it'll please Star Trek fans, well, it's another debate for another day, but I'm not really one of those guys, so I'll leave that debate for you guys. But CBS All Access, I believe, is their exclusive streaming service. I doubt it's going to be on television, so if anybody has CBS All Access, let me know how it is and post your comments in the description below. Alright guys, that's my recap of the news for this week. Thanks for checking in with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on Twitter and Spotify. Speaking of Spotify, I'm just gonna drop a new music notes. This will be featuring K Trinata and Levy Gray. So go over to the Spotify. I have my account info and my podcast info in the description below, so feel free to check it out and follow and listen. Alright guys, peace.